And so we arrive where we began, in silence. The circle closes, the rhythm completes itself, and all words fall away into stillness. For what can be said of the infinite, except that it simply is? All the teachings, all the laws, all the revelations are but ripples upon the same ocean of being. To understand them is not to collect knowledge, but to dissolve into awareness, to rest in the presence from which every law was born. In the beginning was the mind. In the mind, vibration from vibration, duality, rhythm, and form. And now all form returns to the mind again. The breath that once expanded now contracts. The song that once played now resolves into silence. If you listen deeply, you can hear it. A quiet pulse behind your heartbeat. The space between thoughts. The eternal now that holds all time. This is the true Hermetic secret. That the universe is not separate from you. And you are not separate from the all. Everything vibrates, everything reflects. Everything returns, and in that return, there's peace, the peace of the one. The peace of silence, the peace of home. Before time had a name, before the stars were charted, and language gave shape to thought, there was only the silent pulse of the infinite. From that stillness came a whisper, not a sound but a vibration, the first stirring of consciousness speaking to itself. The ancients heard this whisper not with their ears, but with their spirit. It came as a knowing, a remembrance of something older than form, deeper than reason. It spoke of unity, that all things, seen and unseen, were born from one boundless mind. Long before religion divided the sacred from the ordinary, this wisdom lived in symbols. The curve of the sun upon the horizon, the coiling serpent, the spiral shell. Each was a page in a cosmic book written not to explain, but to awaken. They called it the great work, the art of remembering, the hidden symmetry between heaven and earth. For they understood the secret rhythm that echoes through every grain of sand, and every star above as above, so below as within, so without. This was the first law of correspondence, the golden thread tying every realm together. The mystics guarded it not out of secrecy, but reverence for truth they knew can only be received by those who have prepared their hearts to hear. And so through temples, mystery schools, and whispered teachings, this current of wisdom flowed across ages, unseen yet unbroken. Now across the distance of centuries, that same whisper calls again, not from a book or a teacher, but from within, asking each of us to remember what the ancients knew, that the universe is not outside you, it is you dreaming itself awake. From the golden sands of Egypt to the marble temples of Greece, the legend of Thoth transformed, clothed now in a new name, yet carrying the same eternal essence. He became Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great one master of alchemy, astrology and theurgy, the sacred science of communion with the divine. But who was Hermes truly? A man? A god, a symbol, or perhaps something beyond them all? Some say he was the last priest of Atlantis, others a divine messenger who walked between worlds. Yet Hermetic writings tell a deeper story. That Hermes was never a single being, but a consciousness that awakens through certain souls when the world is ready to remember. In his words we find a mirror, reflecting the very structure of reality. The all is mind, the universe is mental. This simple phrase carries the seed of all Hermetic wisdom, that creation begins not in matter, but in thought. Every atom, every star, every heartbeat is a vibration within the infinite consciousness of the all. Hermes spoke of a universe that breathes through cycles, birth, decay, renewal not as tragedy, but as rhythm. He revealed that to know these laws is to harmonize with the music of existence itself. To resist them is to suffer. To flow with them is to awaken. Those who studied under the name of Hermes were not followers. They were participants in a vast remembering. Through the Corpus Hermeticum and the Emerald Tablet, they preserve the wisdom that transcends religion, culture, and time. And so Hermes remains not a relic of the past, but the voice of the present moment, whispering still to every seeker. Awaken, for the divine is not far from you. It is the very essence of your mind. In the twilight between myth and memory, there lies a single tablet of green stone, luminous, eternal, said to contain the entire secret of the universe within a few cryptic lines. The Emerald Tablet, the heart of Hermetic wisdom. Legend says it was discovered in a hidden chamber beneath the Great Pyramid, clasped in the hands of Hermes himself. Others whisper it was a relic from Atlantis, carried through flood and fire, to preserve the cosmic code of creation. But the origin matters less than the vibration it carries, for its message is universal, timeless, and alive. Inscribed upon its shining surface are the words, "That which is above is like that which is below," to accomplish the miracles of the one thing. A simple statement, yet it conceals an infinite truth. It reveals that the structure of the cosmos mirrors the structure of consciousness. The movements of the galaxies echo the patterns of your own mind. What exists within you shapes what exists beyond you. The Creator and the creation are not two, but one eternal act of reflection. Alchemists read the tablet as a map of transmutation, not merely of metals but of the soul itself. To turn lead into gold was never about matter. It was the art of turning ignorance into wisdom, shadow into light, mortality into immortality. And now modern science finds its own reflection. In these ancient lines, quantum fields mirror Hermetic vibration. Reality responding to observation. Thought influencing form. The same code Hermes carved into emerald now hums through equations of energy and probability. The tablet is not a relic to be studied. It is a mirror to be entered. To read with the mind is to learn. To read with the spirit is to remember. For in the rhythm between above and below, we find the secret pulse of creation itself, and the whisper that began before the dawn still speaks through the emerald light within. There is a temple no architect has ever built. It stands not in stone, but in consciousness vast, luminous and alive. This is where the ancient Hermetists turned their gaze, for they knew the truest mystery was not hidden in stars or scripture, but within the quiet chambers of the mind itself. The all is mind, the universe is mental. With these words, Hermes revealed the foundation of all creation. The universe, they taught, is not a machine but a thought, an endless dream in the mind of the all. Every atom, every motion, every emotion is a vibration of that living intelligence, expressing itself through form. You are not a fragment adrift in the sea of energy. You are the sea, condensed into a single point of awareness. When you think, you sculpt reality. When you imagine, you set currents in motion. The Hermeticists called this the divine art of mentalism, the recognition that thought is not passive, but generative. Modern science now echoes this ancient truth. Quantum fields shift according to the presence of an observer. Possibilities collapse into form. The moment awareness gazes upon them, the mind, it seems, is not contained by the brain. It contains the universe itself. To know this is to awaken the forgotten, creative power within you. Every belief becomes architecture. Every feeling, a brushstroke on the canvas of the infinite. So the ancients practiced not to escape the world, but to remember they were shaping it. For creation is not an event that happened long ago. It is happening now through every thought, every breath, every heartbeat. And to master this truth is to rediscover what was never lost, the silent miracle of the mind, dreaming the cosmos into being. In the dim glow of laboratory light and the timeless hush of temple halls, two seekers stand, the scientist and the mystic. One peers through a microscope, the other through meditation. Yet both gaze upon the same truth, that reality is not solid but shimmering, a dance of consciousness in motion. The Hermetists once spoke of vibration, of unseen waves shaping all form. Modern physics now echoes their voice. Everything that exists from star to atom hums with energy. Nothing is truly still. Even the void vibrates, and in that vibration the old Hermetic axiom awakens. As above, so below. As within, so without. Quantum mechanics reveals what Hermes knew intuitively. The observer and the observed are not separate. When consciousness looks upon possibility, it collapses it into form. The universe responds not to what we demand, but to the frequency we embody. The mystic calls this alignment. The scientist calls it resonance. Both speak of the same law, that like attracts like, that energy follows thought, that reality is an echo of the inner state. When you think with clarity, you tune yourself to the higher wavelengths of creation. When you dwell in fear, you descend into distortion. The universe is neutral yet infinitely responsive, a mirror made of light, reflecting your most persistent vibration. Thus the so-called divide between science and spirit dissolves. The equations of energy are the hymns of Hermes, written in a new tongue. The laboratory becomes a modern temple, and every revelation of physics becomes a whisper of the divine. The ancients called this the science of the all. The knowledge that spirit is substance and substance is spirit. And through this union, the cosmos remembers its own face in you. Through centuries of silence, when temples fell and empires turned to dust, the Hermetic flame did not die. It withdrew, hidden in monasteries, woven into symbols, whispered between masters and disciples. It endured as a secret current beneath history's surface. The sages of Alexandria carried it first, blending Greek reason with Egyptian mysticism, birthing a wisdom that neither religion nor science could contain. From there, it flowed through the alchemists of the Middle Ages, veiled behind crucibles and coded manuscripts. For to them, transmutation was never about gold, it was about illumination. In the Renaissance, the flame rose once more, when scholars unearthed the corpus hermeticum from forgotten libraries. They believed they had discovered the lost voice of divine philosophy. Artists and mystics Da Vinci, Bruno Ficino drank deeply from its well. To them, Hermes was not ancient. He was eternal, whispering through the geometry of art, the harmony of music, the equations of light. Even the early scientists, Newton among them, searched for the hidden hand of the divine in the movement of planets and the nature of light. To study the laws of the universe was to study the thoughts of God. Thus, Hermetic wisdom became the invisible architect of Western thought, shaping philosophy, alchemy, and even physics. A thread of gold, connecting the mystic and the mathematician alike. And though names and symbols changed, the essence remained, that the all breathes through every age, awaiting those who still have eyes to see its light. The journey that began in ancient temples now turns inward, for the final secret of Hermetic wisdom was never about gods or symbols, but about the awakening of the divine within you. Hermes Trismegistus was not merely a teacher of the past. He is a state of consciousness that lives in every soul. Ready to remember, his voice speaks in intuition, in the sudden clarity that pierces confusion, in the quiet assurance that you are more than the body, that walks through time to awaken the inner Hermes. Is to recognize that wisdom is not learned. It is recalled, it was always within you, written in the subtle vibrations of your being. Every breath is an echo of the cosmic rhythm. Every thought, a brushstroke on the infinite canvas of mind. The ancients called this inner alchemy, the art of transmuting fear into clarity, doubt into trust, darkness into radiant awareness. As you begin to think with the heart and feel with the mind, you align with the harmony of the all. We are living once again in an age of remembering. The same light that shone in Egypt now flickers in human consciousness everywhere. The same truth Hermes carried across millennia now knocks gently at the door of your awareness. So listen, the universe is still whispering through you. You are both the seeker and the sage, the question and the answer, the mind through which the all beholds itself. And thus the circle closes, not with an ending, but with a return to the silence before the dawn.